Open source, a free, secure oasis in a desert of money-hungry information-gathering corporations. Well, maybe not that extreme, but you get the idea. It comes in many flavors, some for work and some for play, some for experts and some for beginners. The point being, open source software can really be anything. What's that, I hear you ask? What is open source? Is my computer running this mythical software? Well, let's start with the basic question. What exactly is open source software? Well, according to the definition, open source is denoting software which the original source code is made freely available and may be redistributed and modified. In layman's terms, any program that can be modified after it's been made, essentially. You might be asking, is my computer open source? Well, chances are no, considering that a good 90% of the computers in the entire world, or operating system usage, is Windows, and a mere 2.98% is Linux, and, well, the rest of it is Mac OS and other. So with all the basics out of the way, like what it is and do you have it, the real question of this video, and the point of this video, is can someone like myself, or you, the very viewer watching this video, use only open source software for an entire year of work, or in my case, schoolwork? My simple lack of experience made installing things both extremely annoying and extremely unreliable. To clear something up, like I mentioned before, I have very little experience with Linux, and especially installing things off of the internet like Thonny. For example, on Windows, when you want to install something, you just double-click the install file that you download. But not having that on an operating system is a bit jarring. Whereas on Linux, you actually have to drag it into the terminal, which I detail in the Thonny section. By unreliable, I mean the install for every program is not exactly the same. My CSS editor, for example, did not have a simple .sh file that you can drag into the terminal. It had about 16 different files named install, and one even having the name install_sh, which is not .sh and does not work. Let's start with the basics. We're going to be installing Thonny, which is a Python editor. Unlike Windows, you actually have to run the terminal and put in the file into the terminal to install it. So I'm just going into the terminal here, and then I went into the folder where I had the program, dragged it over, and just ran it. And yes, it says this will download, and yeah, come back after it's downloaded.
Living in a shotgun shack, and you may find yourself in another part of the world, and you may find yourself behind the wheel of a large automobile, and you may find yourself in a beautiful house.
As you can see, it's finished the install, so you just hit enter to exit, and then you can run your program. It will prepare the environment, and this is Thonny. This is exactly like it is on Windows. Print some basic thing like hello world. It's a really basic thing. We'll save it first, and then as you can see, it prints. Even things like Turtle graphics do work 100%, which is good to see here. As you can see, you just run the simple import turtle.turtle, and well, yeah, you can run graphics, you can draw lines, you can do everything that Turtle requires.
House with a beautiful wife, and you may ask yourself, well, how did I get here?
Ubuntu is a very good version of Linux in the way that it comes with LibreOffice, which is an alternative to Microsoft Office. pre-installed, which makes word processing and slideshow creation very easy and of course free, and well, the user doesn't have to go and download some random version of Office. You can also use the Google Office suite. There is no problem in day-to-day Office usage.
How did I get here? Letting the days go by, let the water roll me down.
For the most part, Ubuntu has been a very stable operating system. The installation went fine both on a real machine and of course a virtual machine. I ran into no errors for the longest amount of time, until I made the rookie mistake of leaving the virtual machine on whilst I shut the computer down. This resulted in my virtual machine being completely lost and having to reinstall it. I was presented with this glitch when I went to boot up the virtual machine again, as I did leave the virtual machine on accidentally and shut down the computer, and it did, as I said, give me with this glitch that wants me to take ownership over the virtual machine, and as you can see, you can't actually get into the virtual machine, you have to remove it, which is unfortunate and annoying and not very reliable. So now, I can't really knock the operating system for having this bug. It's something that's not going to affect the majority of people, as a majority of people will be installing this on a real computer. But there is that niche market. The niche market who will want to either try it out on a virtual machine or just want to use it on a virtual machine. And this is a pretty big annoyance / inconvenience. Another annoyance was my screen aspect ratio on both the virtual machine and the real computer was often thrown off. What this means is I would boot up the computer and my screen would be small, or there'd be black bars, or it would be half off the monitor. Now, as I said, this is a slight issue and it could be fixed, but it is an annoyance nonetheless, and does prove that at least some drivers need to be properly optimized for Ubuntu's day-to-day use.
Letting the days go by, let the water roll me down.
Yes, open source software can be run for 1 year. 1 year of schoolwork. But 1 year of my schoolwork differs from 1 year of the person in the other class who doesn't do computer studies schoolwork. Or varies from your actual work, or anyone's use in general. My use is probably never going to be exactly the same as someone else's. So to answer a very blanketed question, is it possible? Well, of course it is. Is it viable? No, not in my opinion, and this is where the video becomes subjective. Personally, there is no need for me to switch, so I don't feel the need to put myself through learning an entirely new operating system and a user experience and all of that type of thing. But like I stated, not everyone is like myself, and if you are a open-minded individual, or if you just know anything about Linux in general, of course, go ahead, be my guest. This is fully possible. To sum this video up, yes, you can. Should you? That's up to you, and it depends on your situation. But ultimately, this was an informative documentary, and I hope you learned something out of it. I hope you learned something about the differences between Linux and Windows. And I hope you enjoyed it most of all. If you'd like to see more projects like this, please let me know down in the comment section below. And thank you very much for watching. Have a good one.